Closing the eyes and taking a breath. And arriving in this moment, this sweet, only moment. Peaceful, calm, bringing all of your awareness into the body and just noticing the mind and the activity of the mind without giving it too much attention. Noticing thoughts come and go, like clouds moving across the sky. And as we breathe and connect to this moment, the one infinite creative moment, feeling fully supported by the chair, the earth, all the systems of the body working to create an environment for life. And as we take a moment of silence, making that journey from the thinking mind, the brain, down into the heart, and arriving in that place of light, of love, peace. Nowhere to go, nothing else to do other than simply be here now. Placing the hand on the heart, acknowledging your physical body, acknowledging everything that is working within your body, within the brain, to make this moment and your physical presence possible. Giving thanks, relaxing the hand, and bringing your full awareness into this moment. Opening the eyes and being here now. So welcome, whether you're here with us on Facebook, and I see there's several of you. Hello. Hello to our Facebook virtual community, our friends. We offer this time of deepening, this time of being on the growing edge, and the growing edge really is this place of conscious awareness that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we are all connected. We're all one. We're all interrelated, interdependent, and responsible for the health and the well-being and the vibrancy of life that each of us are a part of. And when we have this awareness, this awakening, that we are part of something so much more. And when we come to that place of awakening, that awareness, there is a deep peace that occurs. There is a deep sense of love and appreciation for life and for this gift of life that we all have. And so welcome to to Growing Edge Live Sunday sessions. And this month I've been focusing on a theme, the law of circulation, focusing on how we live in this creative universe where we're all a part of creating something It's this moment by moment experience that we're having. And there's a circulation of energy that happens, that we're all a part of. And so today I've been taking my inspiration from this book, and this is The Art of Abundance, the 10 Rules for a Prosperous Life. And when I say prosperous, I don't mean necessarily money. I'm talking prosperous in all ways. We, as human beings, as part of life, are a part of this amazing, creative, abundant universe. And in having that awareness that we're part of abundance. So abundance isn't something we're striving for. It's not something that we're trying to achieve. It's not a goal where we're thinking that once we get that thing, then we're going to feel abundant. Abundance is what we are. Abundance is our core nature. And so when this book talks about prosperity, and when I talk about prosperity, that's the outpicturing of our abundance. It's us having the awareness that we're abundance, that we've got infinite possibilities and potentialities available to us, and that we're simply a vehicle to bring forth that, whatever we're here to bring forth into the world. Through that law of abundance, we then bring forth our offerings, and that's prosperity. So whether we're a farmer growing crops and food, so we have the aware of abundance of possibilities, abundance of supply, and then we create prosperity through our innovation, through our know-how, through our wisdom. So we're the conduit to bring abundance into form, which is then what I'm calling prosperity. And so I'm going to ask that our Facebook group that is watching on the Satya Center page jump over to Allison Benjamin, because this phone is about to lose battery. And so Satya Center, go to Allison Benjamin to catch the Facebook live feed. So as we move forward with the theme this month for living a truly prosperous life, there are certain rules or guidelines that I found particularly powerful, awakening, and enlivening, because I know that you, like me, want to live a life of meaning and of purpose, want to live a life of prosperity, of happiness, of creativity, of passion. And in order to do that, there's some simple ideas and premises that once we absorb in our mind, once we embody these things, once we have such a deep awareness, there's the awareness of these concepts, and then there's the embodiment of them. So once we have an awareness of these principles and then we embody them, we start living them, the result is a prosperous life. So the first rule is to be one with life. And we all know that. If you're here watching this, if you're part of the Satya community, the Growing Edge community, part of my circle of friends, you know that there's only one. There's only one thing happening. It's this thing called life. We're all a part of that. And when we connect with that premise, with that awareness, we know that that one source is our source. And so we're not looking outside of ourselves, but we're turning within to the source of life that is within ourselves. Everything we're seeking is within. And so when we realize our oneness and we know it's within, that the source and supply, some call it God, some call it the universe, some call it, there's many different names, but when we connect with that source and know it's within, we become sovereign, we become empowered. We're not looking out there for our good. We're knowing that it comes from our awareness of our oneness, that we're individualized aspects of the whole. The second rule is be aware that you're living in an expanding universe. We're living on the green, growing edge of our own becoming. We're expanding something. That's what we're here for. We're evolutionary beings. And so as we inhabit that awareness, as we occupy the space of expansion, everything is possible. Anything is possible. We're not limited by what we're currently experiencing. It broadens our awareness. And that brings me to the rule number 3, be accountable for your consciousness. We have to be aware that we're consciously bringing things in to our awareness, our consciousness, and it shows up as the kind of particular thoughts we're thinking. So as we notice what our thoughts are, notice what the predominant theme of the story running through our mind is. It could be that of lack, of limitation, of poor me, of, oh, I'm in pain, I don't have enough money, my relationships aren't working as well as I'd like them to. Whatever the theme of our thoughts are, whether they're kind of that more sad or more difficult or more problematic kind of thought, or thoughts of my life is wonderful, there's so many good opportunities, I can't wait for that vacation that we've got planned, wow, I'm really feeling the beauty of nature all around me. You can see the difference. There's a quality to the thoughts we think. Well, whatever is the prominent theme of your thoughts, or the most common theme of your thoughts, that's what we tend to experience as our life. So as we become aware that we're always expanding and building our consciousness, as we become aware of that, then we see that we have to be responsible for the quality of our thoughts, because they're always showing up as our life. They're always showing up as the experience we're having. So we get to be accountable for our own consciousness. The fourth one is to be focused. Know that we, as conscious beings, get to focus our energy. We get to give our attention to particular things. And so as we realize this, that energy flows where our attention goes, we become more aware of the power of our intention. So what is your intention? What would you like to experience as your life? Do you want more peace and prosperity and love and meaning? Well, thoughts need to be in alignment with that. There's a cognitive dissonance or a congruence between our thoughts, our words, our emotions, and our actions. And when we're in alignment with that, when our thoughts and our actions are in alignment with our highest ideals, with our highest goals, with our highest intentions, then we move into a particular flow, and we start bringing our unique flavor into the world. So the next one is to be in the flow, and then the next rule is to be passionate. And so my talk today is be passionate and be a blessing. And so as we start to realize, as we understand these rules, as we understand these concepts, these principles for awakening, for having a life of true joy and meaning and vibrancy and greater health, we start to realize that it's key. There's something called desire that's within us. And when I say desire, didn't you see me put my hand on my heart? There's a longing within each of us to express our joy. And so what are you passionate about? What is it that you can do, that you might do, and it might be more than one thing. What is it that when you do it, time seems to stand still? That you could do it and not really be concerned with if you're going to get paid to do this, that you love it so much that it brings you so much joy. What's that thing or those handful of things that you do? And that's, when you think of those things, that's passion. That's abundance flowing. That's your gifts seeking to be expressed out into the world. And when we can all bring that which we find so dear to us out into the world, I believe that's our soul's purpose. That we have identified the things that bring us the most joy. And I feel like that's that desire to bring our passion forth is that seed that God planted within each of us, that the universe has planted within each of us, that is here, that we're here to bring forth, to give life to allow to blossom in our lives. And when we do this, when we give this, we actually then are a blessing. We become the blessing that we're here to be. And so that, I believe, is the whole point of us being here on earth. And next week, I'm going to be talking about being of service and how to expand on these rules or these guidelines and how to expand it even further. But today, the real juice of what I want to share, what I feel that each of us is ready to hear right now, is that your desire, your passion, your strongest, deepest yearning, whatever that is yours to cultivate, to activate, to be brave enough to bring into the world and to share with the world. And so it is when we're willing to do this, when we're truly, truly ready and willing to show up in the world, when we've listened to that still small voice within, and we've jumped in to whatever it is that we want to do, and we've given it attention and time, and we're ready to bring it out into the world, and we do that with vulnerability and wholeheartedness. And then we allow that creativity to flow. That is the way that we, as leading edge, conscious evolutionaries, expand consciousness. And if enough people around the world are aware of this, that they're here to bring their unique flavor, their unique passion, their unique voice to the world, if enough of us do this, then we're going to create this bridge so that we can shift, so that humanity is more aligned with being the presence of love on this planet, and so that we can have a more peaceful, more fair and just, more friendly, more caring, more kind humanity and world. And when we can live this way, and many of us are already, we then can be blessed, feel blessed, and be a blessing. So being blessed is practicing the power of positive perspective by focusing on what's right with our lives and what's right in the world. So that's really the core of this offering today, is, are you focusing on what is blessing your life? Or are you focusing on what is causing you struggle, or causing you to have anxiety, causing you to worry? So just focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your blessings? Or are you focusing on your mind, which has stories about what's wrong? Because you have a choice. We all have a choice as to what thoughts we focus and give our attention to. It's a perspective thing. So the most powerful way to become a co-creator of your life is to focus on what it is you are appreciating, who you're appreciating, and what you want to experience more of in the world. So what's right with your life? What are you experiencing as a blessing? And bless it. Bless everything all the time, because we live in a world of cause and effect. And what we give our attention to mirrors back to us more of that. So what are you willing to give your attention to? Who in your life is a blessing? Think about that now. Think about who's a blessing in your life. And so let's move to prayer right now. So let's take a moment to tune into the one field, the one power, the one presence, the one infinite organizing intelligence. Call it God, call it the universe, call it divine love, beauty, reality. And as we tune in, and as we unify, we see ourselves as individualized aspects of this one life, this one power, this one presence. powerful, creative beings, conduits for God's love, conduits for the divine creative flow to move. And as we connect in that field of oneness, as we connect in the divine flow of love, and we open up our minds to what's possible, and as we focus our attention on that which we most passionately desire to bring forth as our unique creative way to express in the world, it might be through your kindness and caring for your neighbors. It might be through the art you create, the music, the songs that you write and sing and play. It might be through the work you do. It might be through so many different ways. So what are the ways that you bring forth your unique and creative flavor and find that passionate edge, that growing edge of creativity that is alive within each of us now? And feel us collectively on the growing edge of evolution, bringing forth into time and space something magical and wonderful. And we do this with every thought, every word, every emotion, every action we take. And as we celebrate life today, as we give thanks for all that we have, we count our blessings, and there are many. All of our essential workers, all of those individuals that are caring for those that are ill and sick, all of those that have made their transition and passed on, that are now free, all those individuals that are in quarantine, keeping their families and their communities safe, all those beings that are going back to work, joining the workforce, coming out of being isolated, all beings around the globe, in the cosmos. May each of us feel the full measure of this blessing. And imagine in your heart now, radiating, sending a blessing out to the people in your home right now, wherever you are, sending a blessing out to everyone in your town, in your city, in your neighborhood, in your state. And imagine waves of love and light moving through the hearts and minds of all sentient beings, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged, the finned, the hooved, the creepy crawlers, the elementals, earth, wind, water, fire, the stone people, tree people, plant people, above, below, and within. May all be blessed. May all beings be blessed by our love and our awareness of humanity thriving, of us being the ushers, the wisdom carriers, the compassionate leaders that will lead humanity into the next level, the next stage of compassionate humanity, compassionate, loving, peaceful world. It is through our leadership, through our awareness of the power of our minds and our hearts and our love. May all be blessed, now and always and in all ways. So I have a song I'd like to share with you all, and I'd like to say goodbye to our Facebook people now. Thank you for joining us, and join us on Zoom next week. We have a gathering that will continue where we'll have a discussion right now, and we're about to do that. So goodbye, Facebook friends, and